What's going on, everybody? Caleb here, and welcome to race number 4 here on the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season. And after visiting a super speedway for race number 1, a speedway for race 2, and a short track for race 3, we are here to complete the quadrifecta of the 4 different track types. We are here at our first road course of the season. We are here at the Watkins Glen International Raceway here in Watkins Glen, New York, for the running of the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100 here from Watkins Glen International. Like I said, race 4 of the season, and it's going to be a lot of fun here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. A very fun road course. We've seen that so many times in the past that this race usually always cooks no matter the series. Just here a couple weeks ago for the IndyCar series, and both of those races delivered. But we're here to put down stock cars here once again. And get race number 4 of 17 on the season underway here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Joining me up here in the booth for the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100, we got Nathan Stapleton. Thank you so much for joining me here once again here. I know you joined me and Eddie up in the booth for Daytona, but you're once again here for the road course here at Watkins Glen. I know you're probably quite familiar with this track. I know you've seen a lot of races here. What do you think we can expect from these guys here today from the Watkins Glen International Raceway?
Thanks for having me. Watkins Glen is quite possibly one of the most craziest road courses on NR, and for good reason, because we see all kinds of crazy action here, crazy passes. You can pass almost anywhere. You can also crash almost everywhere here. So definitely have to watch out off of that final corner, especially. But I'm sure these guys will put on an amazing show here for race number 4, and it's going to be another classic one here at Watkins Glen.
Without a doubt, it's going to be a lot of fun. Like you said, there's a lot of passing opportunities here, and there's also a bunch of opportunities for some potential chaos here from Watkins Glen, so definitely got to keep an eye out for that. And like I said, big point of interest there is coming out of the final corner. Oftentimes, we'll see these guys overdrive it, sweep it wide, and hit the outside wall coming down the front straightaway, so that'll definitely be a point of interest to have to see how it becomes a factor in today's race. But regardless of the fact, it is going to be a lot of fun. Taking a look at your point standings, coming off of the last race out at the Thompson Speedway, Carson Miller now sits at the top of the point standings, and he's got a 12-point lead over second place in points, Dylan Matthews. And then taking a look further down the point standings, Stuart Gratton fell to third after a bit of a rough outing last race out at Thompson. He sits 19 points back of Carson Miller. Anthony Finelli comes in fourth, 22 back. Felix Mayer comes in fifth in points, 24 back. Trey Wright is sixth, 26 back. Matt Tuck, your Thompson winner, sits in seventh in points, 27 back. Tanner Barton, your upcoming driver in the Wawa Cup Series, and he's driving the 97 here today. He comes into this race eighth in points. Let's see, 32 points back of Carson Miller. Matt Black comes in ninth, 33 back. And here's Larvin Alonso. Comes into this race 10th in points. He is 35 points back of Carson Miller. Miller starting up here on the front row there in that 81. So he's got a good opportunity at opening up this points lead. Especially with Dylan Matthews, I think, not being in this race. So definitely a tough break there for Dylan Matthews. Still got a long season ahead of us. Still a lot more opportunities for Matthews to see if she can maybe rebound and still go after that championship. But starting on the pole for today's race, it's the number 78 Durrani Racing Ford, which is the car that Dylan Matthews piloted for the first 3 races of the season. But this week, that car is being piloted by Joshua Harmon. So he's going to start on the pole position here from Watkins Glen, but we'll have to see if he is able to hold on here in the opening lap, because that outside lane usually gets a pretty good jump there through turn number 1 as they're able to kind of rip the outside and stay off of the curbs. But we'll just have to see how things all go down here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway here for the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100. But I think it's just about time to get these guys rolling here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. And as they do, we'll take a quick look here at your starting lineup here for the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100 at the Watkins Glen International Raceway. As aforementioned on the poll, we've got the number 78 of Joshua Harmon, and he's starting alongside there the number 81 of Carson Miller. Row 2, we find the 87 of Stuart Gratton, your Daytona winner from earlier on in the season, and he's starting alongside there the number 88 of Sammy Kamara. Row 3, we find the number 12 of Trey Wright, and he'll be starting alongside the number 64 of Matt Tuck, your Thompson winner just last week. Row 4, we find the number 97 of Tanner Parton, starting alongside the number 4 of Nathan Ajaboye. And rounding out your top 10, we've got the number 28 Millennium Motorsports Chevrolet of Nathan Orman, starting alongside the 4 of Nathan Ajaboye. And a mistake there in row 4. That's actually Matt Black, starting alongside the 97 of Tanner Parton, so excuse my mistake there. But the back looks like everyone's rolling off okay, but I'm going to ask you, who do you think is going to be the one to go to victory lane here at the Watkins Glen International Raceway?
Well, I kind of like the outside lane at the start. Like we typically see here, turn 1 inside lane does not really get the great start, especially for closer. So I'm gonna go with third place number 88 right there of Sammy Kamara. And I think that's gonna be a good spot here today at Watkins Glen.
Definitely starting in a decent spot there in that 88 for Thorsport Avalon and Nicholas Samadillo. Yeah, like I said, outside lane usually gets a pretty good jump here on the start, so we'll have to see what the 88 can make with that. But yeah, as you all can see, running the boot here once again here for the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100. This boot section usually always produces great racing. Definitely going to make things a lot interesting from Watkins Glen. But yeah, race report, bottom left-hand side of your screen. 8-lap race here today, no pit stops. And definitely a lot of action in store for you all here today. But the pace car is going to make the right-hand turn into the pit lane, and it's going to be the number 78 of Joshua Harmon and the 81 of Carson Miller, who leads the field out of the final corner to the green flag. We're racing here in the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100 here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. And talked about that outside lane off the start. There you go. There it is in full display as Carson Miller takes the lead away through turn 1 and up through the S's. He holds on, and he's going to get the race lead away as Joshua Harmon is going to slip into the second position there. And then you've also got the 88 of Sammy Kamara and the 64 of Matt Tuck there in tow. Stuart Gratton's going to dive to the inside there of the 99 of Matt Black and take that spot away. But for Carson Miller trying to pull away with this race lead early and set himself up for a good shot at taking it home later in the going. But he's still got a long race left to go, as back here they're still all going at it as Trey Wright takes a peek down to the inside of the 4 of Nathan Ajaboye. And then back there got side-by-side between Drew Webb and Tanner Parton. We're going to go side by side here into the heel. We'll see who's going to have the advantage. It's going to be Tanner Parton is going to clear the 71. But it's already kind of calmed down out towards the front. Everyone's kind of single filed out, and it's Carson Miller for Dracoan Racing Enterprises Ford in the lead right now as we come to complete lap number 1 here from Watkins Glen.
A great start from the point lead of Carson Miller. And he's going to go wide. That's going to allow the number 78 of Joshua Harmon to get...
Oh, Mare to the wall! Down the front straightaway and around. Right in front of the field. Also looks like that collected the 98 of Bob Haywood as well. And back here, we've already had an accident. That's the 9 of Vinny Scholes. A lot of damage to the 9. Crumpled up front end, crumpled back end. Big wreck there for Vinny Scholes. We'll put replays of both incidents on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. But, of course, no cautions here for the road courses, so we stay green. But, oh boy, here we go for the lead. Joshua Harmon takes a peek to the right-hand side of Carson Miller, looking to take that race lead back. And they're going to go side by side for the lead going into the boot section.
Well, I said that we would see potential chaos and a lot of passing, and that's what we've seen so far, and we're only almost 2 laps into this one. And it's not good for the field, as I was trying to say before they let Carson Miller, the point leader, 3 top 5s to kick off the season, trying to get that first win on the season, and get 4 for 4. And if that number 1 keeps them doing this, this could be a lap on the championship early. We might have seen what happened to the number 8, I believe the number 9, I should say, right there, with some skimmer. It's tough with everyone involved early on here in this one.
Tough to see. A lot of those guys already involved in accidents. Looks like Vinny Scholes is going to be able to continue, and they actually fixed up that damage pretty well. But, yeah, shame for all those guys that pretty much got put behind the 8 ball out of the get-go. And Angel Gutierrez in the 17 has got damage. Probably ran into that wreck on the front straightaway, so that's a big tough break there for Gutierrez. But Carson Miller trying to pull away a little bit with that race lead. He's got a pretty decent-sized gap now to the 78 of Joshua Harmon and the 88 of Sammy Kamara. And you got Stuart Gratton there in the 87 in 4th, Matt Tuck in 5th, Matt Black 6th, 7th Nathan Ajaboya, 8th is Trey Wright, 9th Tanner Parton, and right now Nathan Orman there in that 28 rounds out your top 10. Sammy Kamara trying to take a peek, and he's trying to go for 2nd on the 78 of Joshua Harmon. See what he can do going into the boot section. He's going to go the long way round, but 78 goes wide. It's the wall.
Oh, my goodness.
And Sammy Kamara is going to cross him over, and they're going to stay side by side, and now both of them are under fire from the Intersis Motor Racing cars as well. And I'm sure Carson Miller is absolutely loving this, because this is letting him pull away.
They might want to give that trophy away for Carson Miller, because the longer these guys go side by side and racing like crazy for 2nd, the more that Carson Miller is just going to pull away. A mistake from Harmon went into the outside wall maybe a little bit. And now under fire still from the number 88 of Kamara, and you're going to the final corner. They're going to go.
Oh, they get together again!
They're still not happy with each other, I think.
Oh, man. Luckily, it looks like Joshua Harmon pretty much got out of that unscathed, and he's pulled away from the 88 of Kamara, but Kamara's not going to be happy about that. 64 of Matt Tuck is going to get by the 88. And now Kamara's going to be under fire from all these guys. Stuart Gratton, Matt Black, Nathan Ajaboye. And these guys are absolutely going crazy behind the 81 of Carson Miller right now. It's an absolute dogfight for every position out there. But hopefully it looks like things might finally settle down a little bit. But as soon as I say they got Nathan Ajaboye going for a move there on the 99 of Matt Black. But man, we're just getting to halfway through this thing, and goodness gracious, we've had just about as much chaos and action as about 3 races combined.
Yeah, no kidding. Welcome to Watkins Glen, everybody. My goodness, only 3 laps complete on that 4-lap line. We will be just now halfway through this 100-mile race, and right now Cosmo looking pretty good, but some shout-outs. Still have to give a shout-out to Joshua Harmon, still running in 2nd of all the chaos. Matt Tuck in 3rd. I almost picked Tuck to win this race, but I decided not to. And then the number 4 back there of Alger Boy having a strong one inside the top 10. Trey White in the number 12 having a good one. A pair of rookies and a veteran in the alien. Woman's gonna go into the outside wall. Halfway through, it's looking good for Carson Miller, but it's Watkins Glen. It's not over until the final lap.
You can say that again. And we've just seen that about everywhere here so far this season. It's not over until it's over. And we've just gotten to halfway, and you've seen just how much happened in the first half. So still plenty can happen here in the last 4 laps. But at least at the moment, it's looking really good so far for the 81 of Carson Miller. We'll have to see, though, back here. Stuart Gratton going for a move on his teammate and his driver in the Wawa Cup Series, Matt Tuck, trying to take that spot away. They're going to go side by side going into the boot. Looks like Tuck is going to stay clear for the moment, but Stuart Gratton's still going to be right there on the back bumper. And I think, yes, he did. He took a peek to the right-hand side. And they're going to go side by side here down the back straightaway and into the heel. Stuart Gratton might have the preferred lane if he can keep it off the curb. He's going to kind of get into the curb there, but they're going to stay side by side for the time being as they go back up the hill. Oh man, great battle here. They're still side by side as we head into the final corners of the racetrack. Gratton's going to swing it wide, but if he can stay there, he's going to have the advantage to the final corner. It looks like he is. Tuck really drives it in, keeps it off the wall, and Tuck is actually going to clear Gratton on the outside. How about that move?
Great move from Matt Tuck right there, and gonna say it as one of his teammates and Stuart Gratton for now, but I think Gratton really wants this third spot, and he's not down to forget. And if Matt Tuck loses that spot to Stuart Gratton, that could open up the floodgates to the number 88, the 99, the 4, the 12, and the 97 all behind him for him to lose more positions. But so far, so good. A couple of battles throughout the top 10, but I'm going to say 2-second lead now for Carson Miller at number 81.
Carson Miller is absolutely pulled away with the race lead. He's just been setting down some consistently quick lap times, and I guess when you're out here in the lead at Watkins Glen, that's all you gotta do. Just keep the pedal to the floor and stay consistent. That's what will drive you to the victory here. A lot of these road courses, you can just get the lead, and if you can set down some consistent times, probably got it made. Stuart Gratton once again trying to go after Matt Tuck, and it looks like he's actually going to clear him as we go down the backstretch and into the boot. And Gratton actually might be looking to try and have a go for second with the 78 of Joshua Harmon. We'll have to see if we can maybe go for it here as we come to lap number 7, coming to 2 to go here from Watkins Glen. Trying to take a peek to the right-hand side. Still staying in behind the 78 there. Ajiboye trying to get down to the inside of the 88 of Sammy Kamara. Big move there from Ajiboye, but he's going to make it work. They're going to go side by side down the front straightaway. Going into turn number 1, Kamara might have the advantage here unless the Ford can stick it in there. And he actually kind of did. They're still side by side for the time being. And they're going to stay side by side as we go up the hill, but Kamara's going to drive it in and is going to hold on to the spot. And actually Matt Black in the 99 there is going to follow him through. Another great battle there. We might have another one heating up here for the second position. Here comes Gratton, looking to the right-hand side for second on Joshua Harmon.
Not quite going to get there. I will mention, last lap, these 3 cars gained half a second on Carson Miller, and looks like they're gaining again. This might not be over for this race win. If they can gain another half a second, get within a second, just in case Miller makes a mistake, that could be all she wrote. But it's Watkins Glen. And like I said, it's not over until it's over, and it's not quite over for the point leader.
It's not, but these guys are definitely getting closer. Almost kind of seems like them pushing each other has caused them to close on the 81 for that lead, and if they can get close enough, they can maybe have a chance at it. Especially if the 81 of Carson Miller makes a mistake, but he's kept it clean so far. And he's coming to the white flag this time by, so he just needs to set one more clean lap. And he's got this thing in the bag. Goes a little bit wide there, but so did the 78. But they both kept it off the wall. But white flag in the air, 1 to go. Here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway for Carson Miller. Joshua Harmon's got that gap under a second. But he's got Stuart Gratton there in the 87 all over his back bumper. If these two go side by side, that could potentially be curtains for Carson Miller. Oh, Matt Tuck goes really wide there through the S's. He's giving it all he's got. Down the long straightaway for the final time, going into the carousel. Oh boy. Joshua Harmon doing everything he can to try and close in that gap to the 81 of Carson Miller to maybe put himself in a prime position if Miller does make a mistake here on the final lap. But like I said, Carson Miller's still looking clean so far as we go into the boot section for the final time. His toe's going to go a little bit wide, but I think he's actually kind of opened up that gap a little bit to the 78 of Joshua Brown. And as we go into the hill for the final time and back up the hill, he's got a pretty decent sized gap to the 78 of Joshua Harmon, but he's just got to keep it clean through these final corners. He just has to keep it clean. And he's got his 4th top 5 and 4 races in the bag, and his first win on the season. Coming through the final corner, Carson Miller is going to keep it clean, and he's going to coast to his first win of the season. Carson Miller wins the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100, and they're crashing in the back.
Huge wreck in the back.
Trey Smith goes around right in front of the field.
Oh my goodness.
Sam Odoskin involved as well. Same for the 41 of Trey Smith. But maybe some last-second desperation there. And then Trey Smith, I think, was running up inside the top 10 there. Is not going to finish inside the top 10. It's going to be a 13th place finish for that number 12. That's a tough break there for Trey Wright.
Not entirely sure what happened, but I did see the 97 of Tampon also get a little bit sideways off that final corner, so maybe it was a scenario with Trey White and Tampon. Not entirely sure. A lot of chaos here at Watkins Glen, but a lot of great battles, exactly of how I said at the start of the show. But how about Carson Miller? 4 races, 4 different track types, 4 top 5s, and now we're number 1 on the season. However, the downside for him is that Stuart Gratton did get a top 3 finish here today. So I don't think Stuart Gratton will be too far behind, but Carson Miller is going it on a clinic through the first 4 races of the season for the Lenovo Pro Series.
Absolute masterclass from the 81 of Carson Miller. Like he said, 4 top 5s in the first 4 races of the season across 4 different track types. And here at Watkins Glen, it's going to be a victory for the driver of that 81 for Dracoan Racing Enterprises. And said the last couple races, we might start seeing our dominant teams coming to fruition. Well, there's Dracoan Racing Enterprises. There's Intersis Motor Racing. I think we've got a pretty good idea at who to watch out for as this season goes along. But definitely a driver to also watch out for this season is without a doubt that 81 of Carson Miller. And he is going to finally get his first win on what has been a great season so far for Miller. Taking a look at your finishing results here from Watkins Glen. Carson Miller gets the win here from the Watkins Glen International Raceway. Joshua Harmon still comes home second. A great effort there at the end to get the gap under a second. So close yet so far there for Joshua Harmon. Third goes to Stuart Gratton. Still a good point stay overall for him. Still probably going to put him within a decent gap of Carson Miller. Matt Tuck's going to come home in fourth. Sammy Kamara runs out your top five. Looking further on down your field, Nathan Ajaboya comes home in sixth. It's back-to-back top tens for him, so good stuff there. Matt Black comes home seventh. Tanner Parton eighth. Nathan Orman ninth, and Anthony Finelli is going to round out your top 10. But man, a lot to unpack that from that race there. But and final thoughts, Nathan. If you can't unpack everything that we've just saw, what do you think about this race, and what do you think we can expect from these guys at the next race at the Bristol Motor Speedway, the last great Coliseum? That's definitely going to be another interesting one, I'll tell you that.
Oh man, we saw basically everything in this one. We saw chaos on the front stretch, not once but twice. Saw chaos exiting the boot, and then saw a ton of great racing all day long. In only a 8-lap sprint to the finish. Fantastic racing here at Watkins Glen. Tough wait for the 98 of Bob Haywood, but at least he got another top 10. A great race, and really I'm interested on how Bristol's going to go up next week, and hopefully that one goes a little bit better than what we've seen in the World Cup Series. But nevertheless, we're looking forward to it.
Gonna be a lot of fun, and definitely that's a pretty high bar after this first four races of the season. This season has absolutely got off to an outstanding start. 4 great races here to open up the 2024 Lenovo Pro Series season, and we've still got 13 races to go. Still a lot of great racing left, a lot of action left, and still a lot of storylines yet to happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, next race is going to be the Tractor Supply Company 200 at the Bristol Motor Speedway. That race will be going up next Wednesday, September 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sign-ups for that will actually be going up here in just a few minutes. That being said, thank you so much for Nathan for joining me up here in the booth for this one. Once again, congratulations to the 81 of Carson Miller for winning the Lake Effect Ice Cream 100 here from Watkins Glen. And I will see you all from Bristol. Y'all take care, and as always, y'all have a good one. Here is your point standings after race number 4 on the season.